Welcome to Six Figs. I'm Kyle, and in today's video, we're talking about Nervos Network, ticker CKB. Now, we're going to be talking about everything that's relevant going on within the ecosystem, and we'll discuss the price and charts here at the end. So let's dive right into it on the app called X. Nervos says a new milestone for CKB is approaching. This calls for a celebration. We're having a party. Get ready for some in real life and online events. Count down with us. Shout out to the amazing contributors who put these sites together. And what are they talking about? Well, someone out there, or some people, made some pretty nice CKB having sites. So this is pretty cool to say the least. But getting back to Nervos Network's post, they have a way for you to get involved to really kind of have, get it, a party to celebrate the halving. Now, there is a form that you will have to fill out, and it looks like these are going to be happening on November, on the day of the halving. So I will travel to wherever to attend one of these parties in person. I think that would be so much fun. We've come a long way. Now, there was also another thing that went down on Reddit with Nervos Network. Kevin Wang, who is the founder of Nervos Network, he sat down to take time and answer questions about what's going on with the project, what Kalini protocol is, which is very interesting stuff. We're not going to get into that. I'm going to make a separate video on Kalini, but just to kind of scrape the surface on it, what is Kalini? Kalini allows liquidity to be provided to one blockchain while being aggregated and accessible from everywhere, optimizing capital efficiency while ensuring safety of funds for liquidity providers. Now, being a liquidity provider can be scary for those people putting up the liquidity. There has to be a lot of demand, things like that, for the liquidity pool to stay stable. So Kalini is native to the Axon framework, and this, like I said, is a pretty big deal. So we're going to cover this in its own separate video. Also, folks, check out Nervos Nation if you're looking to get involved with the community. This is a great spot for people to come and really join to ask questions about Nervos Network. A lot of the developers and employees of Nervos Network mingle around in here. So lots of great alpha. There's lots of great dApps and things like that built on Nervos Network. Right now, they've got 120 projects on here for sure. So there's other stuff too, but I will throw a link in the description if you want to check out the ecosystem. So let's move on to the charts, things like that. Where is CKB today, folks? I'm just not seeing it on the chart, so let me just search here. It's been trading kind of flat. So right now, we're up 0.6% on the day, down 2% on the week, down 9.6 on the month. This is about the same exact stuff in my last video that I covered. Now, what's going on with Nervos Network right now, folks? Well, when we look at the previous video that I did with CKB, we know that there is possibly, bear with me one second, a possibility of somewhat of a head and shoulders pattern that could be possibly forming. Now, price action has dropped below this trend line here, and we can almost see that it is retesting this trend line here. Excuse me. So what I'm going to go ahead here and do is throw up a little horizontal trend line. Excuse me. And you guys can kind of see where the floor of support is, and we are seeing these highs get lower. Unfortunately, this is what's called a descending triangle, and whenever we see something like this, it's not a very good sign to see. So it could be that we are gearing up to see this price react. And I want to just go ahead and say that right now, the bulls are holding the floor at about 0.0027-ish cents. So if you see CKB really trading below that, we might be losing a little bit of support here. Now, I do think that there would be this chance that this is going to be a very small drop in price tag simply because this is a very small pattern. I mean, this is like, you know, a month-long pattern, so it's nothing crazy, but I would expect that we might see some sort of, some sort of falling wedge or something like that created out of this fall if the price falls. So, I mean, it's too early to tell yet. Ideally, I would love to see the price kind of go ahead here and bounce upwards. But you guys can see on this 4-hour chart, it just has a hard time getting past this 50 moving average. So before we go on to see how far the price could fall, if it does, we're going to just kind of look at the daily and the weekly chart. The good thing that CKB has got going for it right now is that these Ichimoku clouds are extremely thin. So if we get some bullish momentum, it's really not going to be that hard for price to break through this Ichimoku cloud and head on upward to about 0.0037-ish. So that would be about a 33% increase. It's got to get past this 50 moving average, folks. Really, this is one of my favorite setups to trade when price is underneath this 50 moving average and you see this 200 moving average far away, simply because you can see how price reacts, and it reacts quite nicely. So right now, we could be seeing a very similar setup to what we saw back in December, January, quite possibly, where we see that descending triangle break down, and then we just see a recharge to the upside. So RSI, it's kind of, we're definitely oversold, at 37 points, but we'll just have to play the waiting game. It really is what it is. Again, on this weekly chart, folks, I can't help but to be bullish. And like I was saying before, if this little head and shoulders pattern forms and executes, I don't think we're going to see the price tag drop too much. But we have so much to be bullish about going into this fall because we've got a very nice long-term opportunity into January to get this price above 0.004645-ish cents. And then on the weekly chart, folks, we would be above the Ichimoku cloud. And once you're above the Ichimoku cloud on a weekly status, we'll see the price kind of increase. And we'll look at Bitcoin, for example, because CKB is too new where it really doesn't show the data. But you can see on the weekly chart, once price gets above this 50 or this Ichimoku cloud, boy, oh boy, it's good news. You can see the price just takes off like a rocket. Here's another example of it. So I do think that right now Bitcoin is looking very fancy. I'll say that much right now, because Bitcoin is trading above the 200 moving average. We have some wiggle room here. Bitcoin can really maintain at this 200 moving average at about 27,000 even, or 26,000. As long as come November, it's above this Ichimoku cloud, I am, guess what, bullish. So I want you guys to do a few things. Your own homework, your own research on Nervos Network, CKB, and I want you guys to check out Nervos Nation. By the way, folks, I want you guys to consider joining my trading group, and it's called The Trade Tank, and this is on Open Chat. There I have a giveaway where all you have to do is join for a chance to win 50 ICP. And you can do whatever you would like with that ICP. You can keep it as is. You can convert it to Bitcoin. You can convert it to USDT. You can convert it to CKB, folks. So this is a group where we discuss tradings, chart patterns, like the whole 9 yards. Lots of good alphas in there. We're at about 300 members so far. Once the group hits 500, boom, that's when the 50 ICP giveaway will be activated, and one random person from the community will win 50 ICP. So, love you all, and we'll see you guys all in the next video.